I would tell more poorly behaved children what might be a funny thing to do. Like, what if someone threw that out the window right now?
Yeah.
And they would take the bait and you would watch.
Yeah, it'd be pretty crazy if someone just threw their potato battery out the window right now. You know, that'd be crazy. I know you're pretty unstable.
God, you would have been.
You've got a lot going on at home. Maybe you'd be like a king for a day if you did that. You know, I remember we got caught tagging up a garage. My tag, we wrote, "We are the fuckers." To me, it was just the declaration. I remember in third grade, a teacher gave me an article like Xeroxed from Esquire. Like, it wasn't for kids. It was an article, and it was about this guy Henry Beard, who wrote for the Harvard Lampoon and the National Lampoon, and the name of the article was "The Original Smartass White Guy." And she slipped it to me, Miss Coal, and she said, "You'd be into this guy and this type of thing." I had weirdly high self-esteem when it came to that. Not really about any other part of life, but I was like, yeah, no, I'm a headliner. I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be great. People are gonna be talking about this. I always felt like when Simon Rich and I, in most weeks, we wrote a monologue for the host. I didn't even sense if they thought we were writers. Like, I think they thought we were just like two children with pieces of paper who kept asking them, like, not personal questions, but like Wikipedia level questions. We would just be like, so maybe something about, I think your family has a lot of dogs. And they'd be like, why are you telling me about that? I'd be like, we're just trying to think of any angle for you.
Yeah.
I remember pitching an idea in my office to Josh Brolin. And he went, well, it's not funny. And I didn't mean to make it sound like he was really harsh. It was more like, well, you can write it. It's not funny. And I was like, well, then you just saved me a couple hours. I think I said to him, like, this shirt doesn't, don't worry, it doesn't like moire on camera. You know, don't worry, Tom.
He goes, you'll cross my mind at 11 when I realize you're on the show.
Yeah, and then we'll ask you to maybe do something about the adult acne. Do you have good neighbors? Do you have nosy neighbors that snoop? You've shown how mean you can be.
Oh, please. I don't think mean. I think bravely honest is the way I would call it.
No, it's like you're
a monster.
You changed up pitches. And you're like, oh, the whole time he's been mean.
Yeah. Well, we could have.
We all knew.
Which is the big reveal for every comedian. Oh, they have contempt for so many people and so many things. Oh, that's the big. Did you guess what? That's everyone's rosebud is a sled that says kind of mean.
All right.
I was going to say.
Nate Bargatze once described doing stand-up for people that don't know what stand-up is. He did it at a award thing for his father, and he said, they don't know I'm a comedian, so it just seems like a mean speech. And it is. It's like you have these prepared remarks where you're shitting on products and people and the city you're in, and it really is. That's all it is. It's just in the 1700s, you would have just taken over your dad's job, and you would have been a scientist.
Yes.
Your dad would have dropped dead when you were 15.
Yeah,
instead of still being alive. It's insane.
Yeah, it is insane.
You're like 60. And
My dad,
60, and you walk around with a dad.
My dad.
At this point, you guys should be brothers. And a mom. You should just be brothers.
My dad.
People always go, oh, poor Michael Jackson, he had no childhood. But you know who else didn't? Is anyone born before 1910.
Yes.
Yeah, and they didn't marry children with a giraffe as a witness.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Is that the first hard take you've heard on MJ?
Yeah.
You never heard? Yeah, it's a pretty sacred cow in comedy to not go after it.
We now know.
Wow.
We now know.
Sona, a lot of people have negative takes on it.
I was walking through, and this is really about Mulaney and not me, but I was walking through the studio, and by the end of my career, I was like 60 years old, and I'm not even sure I'd met Mulaney. It was like the second show, and I'm walking through the studio, and they're rehearsing one of his he had a piece on. I think it was like his second show. I'm walking through the studio, and I hear this, and I go, "That's a new writer. That's not a writer I know."
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a new writer or a guest writer, because it reminded me of that. There was a story about Ted Williams when Hank Aaron was a rookie. Hank Aaron is warming up, and Ted Williams is sitting in the dugout and hears from the way the ball is coming off Hank Aaron's bat, that he's never heard that before. And he storms out there, who was just taking batting practice?